I can't tell you that today is going to be perfect. I can't tell you that the sun is going to be brighter than it ever has been. I can't tell you that tomorrow is going to come for you. But I can tell you this, that if you don't keep moving forward, if you don't get out of bed, if you don't open your eyes and start moving, you will never find out. It's not your fault that you were born broke, that you were born on the wrong side of the tracks, that your dad didn't love you, that your mom wasn't there for you, that your whole entire family abandoned you. But it is your fault if you don't get up and you don't keep walking and you don't keep pushing that boulder up the mountain as hard as you possibly can. You know why? Because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. It's time to put the big boy pants on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to work. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the DC Journey. We are here together. DC, Drew, Craig, that's me, and my wife, Jennifer. What's up? How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
What do you think so far?
I think it looks great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Other than I'm really sweating over here, and I'm never hot.
It's hot in here.
It is hot in here.
Yeah.
We need like a little AC unit or something.
Man, so we compiled all of the stuff that we've been doing for like the past year to create that that intro. What do you think about it?
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool, though. So, episode 0001. This is Studio 201 in Hutto, Texas. Welcome to the DC Journey. It has been a journey. We started renovating this room that you can't even see it. I don't know why we're talking about it. You'll see pictures on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and probably the website as we get that up and running. But one of the things that we wanted to do was create something really, really quick, but also get this stupid podcast going. Mm-hmm. So it's been like, I was talking to Russell, who's going to be on the show this week. I was talking to him, and he's like, man, you've been working on this thing for like a year, 2 years. It's awesome to finally see it take off. And so
for sure, like 20 months.
20, yeah.
It's been in the process.
Yeah. And so, we've got some cool stuff planned ahead of us. This freaking office is awesome. It was just a white room. And I was talking to my buddy, John Vandergrift, out of Temple, Texas, who owns a marketing company. And I was like, dude, this is what I want to do. He does this stuff all the time. Yeah. And so it's not something that like I don't get creative enough where it's like on the decor side to like sit down and just plan this stuff. Mm-hmm. And so like over the past 2 weeks, what have you been thinking?
That we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah, on the business side of things. And so like we've been doing work and stuff. Like you can't see this, but I'm gonna send some pictures here in just a little bit. Like we've got a grass wall over there, and then I'm a huge whiteboard guy, and I got sick and tired of having a whiteboard, and so what I did was got a blackboard, and we've got neon highlighters in here where we can draw. Directly behind me are my inspirational photos. I've got a picture of some type of like buffalo cow, beefalo.
It's like a long-haired cow. I don't know what the name is, but we're gonna have one day.
Yeah, we got to. And then there's a mountain, and then also the rhino. And the rhino is my favorite animal. For several reasons. We'll get into that later on, I'm sure, at some point in the next 10 years. But we wanted to create something, man, that's got a cool vibe, cool environment, and start having people on the show again and actually go live with the podcast. We've done a ton of episodes that we just never really felt like we needed to release. But we're getting to the point now where it's like we have to release them because it's foolish not to. And so we've soundproofed the room. You might hear a train drive by every once in a while, but that's okay. This is not going to be perfect. This is about getting stuff put out there, content put out there, so that people can get their lives changed just by us. You know what I'm saying? No, not really. real quick, if you could describe me in like 2 or 3 words, what would it be? And not negative, not like when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you're like, I hate you. Describe me 2 or 3 words.
That's hard to do.
By the way, I got some laugh tracks on here too. It's so
awesome.
funny.
Oh man, 2 or 3 words. I mean, one, I don't think your brain ever slows down. So you just have this creative brain that goes 100 miles an hour. So that's that.
Yeah.
2, you're not one to give up on anything. I'm not going to be able to do this in 2 or 3 words. That's
No, you've used like 35 already, so.
Yeah, I don't know. Super hardworking, stubborn. You're not going to let anybody tell you can't do anything.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. During the week, our day job is we own a company called Fingerprint Ideas. It is a design, marketing, and print company. And one of the things that we focus in on is we print everything from business cards to banners, flyers, T-shirts, hats. You name it, we can probably do it. My focus is really on the marketing side, where we help develop businesses, help build their campaigns, their strategies. And so we've got a lot of stuff, a lot of people that we meet with, good Lord, a lot of people that we meet with on a regular basis that are incredible people. And so I think about it. We had a guy come in this past week that started a Cajun restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
Cajun food truck.
Seafood.
Cajun seafood. And dude's from another country, in America now,
Mm-hmm.
and went from nothing, started this food truck.
That's
I don't know his
business.
whole story.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to just kind of talk through that. Then we have another couple that they started what I call the, when back in the days when you'd go to the mall, people go to the mall now, but not as often because Amazon's there and you can buy pretty much anything on the internet. So they built this facility and it's got like 4 or 5 restaurants inside, huge bar, and then it's on 2.5 acres. And I think about their story where they own a bunch of different businesses, but they wanted a place to go hang out with their family. And so what did they do? They couldn't find it anywhere, so they just built it. And now they're looking at other locations to build that as well. And so I think about their story. And it's one thing for us to go in and be like, hey, can we print your pizza boxes? Can we print your business cards? Can we print your postcards? Can we print your hats and T-shirts so people can see? It's one thing to do that, but like where my passion is, and it's hard for people to understand, I don't really care about your business card. Like I'm grateful for the $3 that we make every single time we sell some business cards. I care more about what's going to happen after someone gets those business cards.
Right.
And so for me, it's like, hey man, we'll sell you 1,000 cards, but more importantly, like I want to talk about the story that happens after you get your cards. What's next? And so every single person that we talk to has some sort of passion or some sort of motive behind the reason why they do everything that they do. And that's what I have found over the past year, 2 years, 3 years, that really gets me out of bed. Everyone's negative right now. Everyone's controversial. But the thing that keeps me going forward, keeps moving me, keeps waking me up, keeps keeping me up at night is I want that story to be known by everybody. And so you've got people that own a little bitty pizza shop that can lead millions of people through their story, their devotion, their dedication to the people, their clients, their customers. You've got dentists, you've got doctors, you've got lawyers, you've got whatever it is, and their story keeps them moving. And I think as people unfold, or as people hear these stories and unfold all of the details that are going on, I think it's going to be motivational. I think it's going to be encouraging. And so I'm really looking forward to, the next several episodes of the DC journey. Wish I had that. And I should have some like little soundbite on here that's DC journey worthy. But I do have this. Listen. That's the deep moment of the day. So I don't know when I'm going to use it. I don't know. But I wanted to bring you on first. I asked you on the way over to the office today. I said, because the first episode for things, like really the first 10 episodes of a podcast are really worthless.
I don't think
But,
so.
well,
To me, if
Why?
the first podcast is not good or interesting to me, I'm not coming back for the second one.
Yeah. No, that's good.
I mean, I may, but honestly, I'm going to move along to another podcast until, it appeals to me and I like it. And I'm huge on podcasts. I listen to like all of them all the time, every day.
So I think about like the podcasts, like I haven't listened to every Joe Rogan podcast.
Well, his are 3.5 hours long.
I know we can't do that.
It takes a couple days.
Yeah. But I think about like the podcasts that I start, most of them I started in like, the second or the second season of their episodes or their podcasts. And so for this one, this is not going to be the only time that you're on here.
Well, yeah.
We're going to have you on here interviewing people, me on here interviewing people. We'll have groups of 3, groups of 4. We might have a whole room of people in here. But I cannot wait. I don't want to do it right now. But as we get into your story, because like you spent 17 years in medicine, like now you work for a print company that like you have a master's degree. You've saved lives, you've delivered babies, like you've done a ton of different things in medicine, and like people don't understand the journey that you've kind of driven down to get to where you are now. And now you're, I think you own like what, 50 something % of the company,
something like that, yeah.
Which is good for you, not so good for me. No, it is. But, there's so many details of your story that will impact probably more people than you've ever imagined. And so like, I can't wait to like get to the point where you feel comfortable on the mic, talking in front of the millions of people that have access, not the millions of people that are listening, but the millions of people that have access to this podcast. It's going to be interesting. What are, I asked you, I was like, hey, who are the people that like I'm most thankful for? And like you were kind of like toying around with things, and I looked at you and you're like, oh, you're smiling at me, blinking your eyes as if I'm supposed to be like, oh yeah.
I said, well, who is it that you talk the most to every day?
And you looked at me like yeah. And I don't want to, not that I want to waste people early on. But as we build the audience, as we build our flow and our connection on the mic and on video and stuff, it's going to take a little bit of time to win our audience over. And so what I didn't want to do was bring you on and be like, oh, hey guys, here's your story. Let's go. Because there's so much depth to it. And so I can't wait for that to happen. And so if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a PA, if you're in medicine, this is probably something that you're going to want to stick around and listen to at a certain point. And I don't know if that's going to be episode 10, 15, 20, or what it might be, but I don't want to go forward. This is the week of Thanksgiving. Isn't that crazy? The years, it's,
We're about to have a 2-digit daughter.
Yeah. Next month.
Double digits.
Yeah. And we haven't even talked about our family yet. And so I didn't want to go forward with any other podcasts until we got to talk about you, talk about me, and the journey that's happened to get us here. And so that's kind of what I want to do tonight is let's talk. We can slow down our volume, our words or whatever. Let's talk. Cool. Want to do it?
Sure.
Okay. So, let's see here.
Well, why don't you start with what's the whole point of this podcast?
Yeah, DC
in
journey.
like 1 minute or less, because I know you can go on a tangent for 30 minutes.
Oh, I can. Just like I probably have. Yeah, the DC journey. Drew Craig is my name. Why is it Drew Craig? That's actually not my name. First name is Andrew. Second name is Craig, or middle name, whatever. And for some reason, I have toyed around with being called DC. I've been called AC. And I just felt like DC Talks is taken. That's a Christian rock band from like the early '90s, and what would people do if the anyways, that is taken. And so I've been toying around with this for a year. Like, hey, what do we call the podcast? We've played with like 25 different names, and we've got this. So we've got the Drew Craig journey. Okay, this is not just like my story. My story is only possible if other people are involved.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've always been someone that's like, hey, I don't want to make myself famous. I want to make thousands of people famous. I don't want to make all the money. I want to make, I want people to make money, and I want to help them make money. And so I got the little guy on the left. The body's DC. Got some legs. That's me walking.
Is that I couldn't figure it out at first. Like, what's the V? That's the body. That's the legs. Okay, that's great.
Arms, So that's the DC journey.
Okay, so this is to help reach people in order to,
I think, get their story out.
Everybody
has a journey. Everyone has a walk that they've.
So this is really just to let everybody tell their story.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that I have a unique ability is talking to people and connecting people.
Right. Everywhere you go, you know somebody.
Yeah.
I mean,
and so I can walk into a room and be like, hey, this is the CEO of a company, and I know what his weakest link is right now with his business, and I'm going to find that person in the room, and I will connect them by the end of the night. And I've done that numerous times. In fact, I did that the other day at a groundbreaking ceremony for another company, and I was able to network people, and they're like, hey, can we connect after this? And so it's pretty cool to watch or be a part of, and then see a year later like how things have been built. And so for this, the DC journey is not about me. It's not about you. It will be at a certain point, and it will be about me at a certain point. But
so it's a platform, for people to tell their story.
Yeah, and so there's so many stories out there. There's like, I think in your walk as a believer, that's called your testimony. How you got from A to B. When you found Jesus, what happened? A to B and then B to C. And so in business, hey man, I was making $10 an hour. Remember those days?
Mm-hmm.
Making $10 an hour. And then I went to my boss. I was like, hey, I want more responsibility. He was like, well, you got to do X, Y, and Z. And so I did. And he gave me a raise and then turned me into a manager. And then all of a sudden now I'm a general manager. Now I'm the CEO of the company. And so listening to those stories, how you got from something to something else, that's the journey that we want to unveil here. And there's thousands of questions that have to be answered. And there's millions of people that are sitting right now thinking, man, if I only had an opportunity, if I only knew what to do next, I could change my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I look in my family tree, I look at my grandfather, who I don't know, I think he had a 7th or 8th grade education. And at his prime, he owned like 22, he was ranching 22,000 acres. Didn't have a high school degree, didn't have a college degree. And he always told me, hey, Andrew, go get a job, go get a teacher's education. That's teacher's education, graduate and get you a good job and retire. Retire when you're 60, 65, 70, 75. And that never made sense to me. Looking at my mom never made sense to me. She did it. She worked for 39 years, retired. And, not saying that, she didn't do the right thing, but I don't want to retire the same way she did. I don't want to retire the same way my dad did. I don't want to retire the same way most people do, where they work 40 years and at the very end of it, they get a $40 watch and they're like, hey, good job, Mr. Smith. You did it. Thank you. And then 2 weeks later, that person is no longer existent in their company, like at all. And it's just like a bunch of other people. Like for you, I kept telling you, hey, when you turn in your notice, they are going to replace you like that. They don't care about you the same way you care about them. Like, if you died tomorrow, guess what? They're going to come to your funeral, but before your funeral's over, you've already been replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And the other night, as we were talking, they replaced you after you turned your notice in. They replaced you with 2 other people before you even like hit your 2 weeks.
Well, they knew that we were probably going to be terminated. So that's why they knew, that we weren't going to get vaccinated. So they just went ahead and hired 3 people to replace us, who we also had to train, who were going to replace us. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the moral of the story is your legacy is not with your work. Your legacy is with your kids and your spouse.
There it is. Say it again. Your legacy is what?
Not with your job, your career, your work. It's with your spouse and your children.
Yeah. And so many people, I think they want to leave a legacy. But so many people are waiting on the perfect plan, the perfect pitch, the perfect platform to actually be like, oh, this is a legacy I'm leaving. And then all of a sudden you wake up sick, you're dying.
Your job is never going to care.
Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. And it sucks because I feel, have been deceived. Not for a year, not for 2 years,
no, for
not
generations.
for 5 years,
mm-hmm.
for generation after generation after generation.
At least 2 generations,
easily.
In my opinion.
Yeah, easily. So you ask what this is about. It's about the journey that every single person has taken, that they continue taking, and we want to talk about it. That's what I want to do. And so this is our first episode. I didn't want to move forward with talking to anybody else until this conversation happened. So give you a little bit of heads up. My name is Drew. This is my wife, Jen. We've been married like 17, 18 years. 18 will be in March, May. Mm-hmm. When did we get married? March? Yeah. And we've got 2 kids. And they are cool. They're really cool kids. My daughter, her name is Story. She is an extremely creative kid. And we'll probably talk to them at some point. Our son Levi is, not that they're not both athletic, but Story is really creative. Levi wants to play sports. And he's singing Morgan Wallen. Like, did you hear him earlier? Yes. Like, dude's just singing, I don't think Jesus done it that way. He loves that song. And, it's unbelievable. But we've got really 2 great kids. They have incredible stories as well. A lot of times they're crazy. A lot of times they're really cool. A lot of times they're in trouble. A lot of times they're just doing awesome stuff. And you'll probably hear from them at some point during this journey. And every single episode is going to be trial and error. We want to make it better. We want to make it as perfect as we possibly can for you.
I don't want it to be perfect, though.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean,
I'd rather be real than be perfect.
Authentic.
Authentic is the word.
DC right. authentic journey. Say that again.
You need it. I was going to say, you need to press that button.
Hold on. Let's get some laugh tracks here. Oh, man.
We're going to have to fix the lighting, though, because my hair looks orange.
Yeah, I think I can fix some lighting here. I don't know how.
And it looks terrible, like I had a terrible coloring job or something. Like, my hair is actually blonde, but this looks like orange.
Man, I don't know, dude. We can change colors. I don't know how to do. Uh-oh.
Oh, that looked a little better. That's better.
Oh, well.
Still looks. Maybe I need to get my hair recolored. I don't know.
It's interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know everything about this. But I will tell you that, it sounds like every once in a while I'll move. It sounds like I tooted, but I didn't. We're going to get, so we've got 3 other cameras that we've got. One will be looking this way at me. Mm-hmm. One will be looking this way at whoever else. One will be straight on. And then we actually might have one that's this way facing that wall.
So where's this camera coming from?
That camera's right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so trial, error, it's a work of art, you know. And the cool thing is like we've got a couple different tools. We can click different buttons and cameras pop up. But
Who's on like your top 5 list? Have you thought about it? And
yeah,
nobody can get their feelings hurt about this. Just
No.
right off the bat, like without thinking, who's your top 5?
yeah. I mean, so last year around this time, I was having a conversation with we have conversations every single day. Hey, Drew, can you help us with our marketing? And the answer is yes. The short answer is yes. The long answer is yes, we can, but like there's a lot of crap that has to happen in order to do that. And so as I was talking to a client last year around this time, October, November, that client was like, hey, you tell us to do all of these steps every single day. We have to do this, but I don't ever see you do it. And so I was like, dude, no kidding. Like, I don't
Someone was trying to hold you accountable?
Yeah. And I was like, listen, first of all, we want to be.
Who is this? Is he on your list? He or she?
I don't know if he's on the list right this second.
Okay, not in the top 5. Huh?
Not on the top 5, but they said that, and I was like, well, first of all, time out. We want to be the company that doesn't market for ourselves. That sounds like a cop out in a certain ways. I don't want to market for our own business. I feel like if we are spending time marketing for our own company, we're not marketing for other companies. And so I don't want to spend a lot of time doing that crap. That's why like the DC journey is not about our company. This is about the journey of the people that we are involved with. And so during that time, I built a landing page, shot a video in the front office, and I was like, hey, listen, here's what I want to do. I want to get the story out about who I am, who you are. If you want to be on this podcast, all you have to do is simply reply yes. And I've got like Mark Eckhart. Like, a lot of people don't know him.
Mark would be great.
Yeah, Mark would be great.
They have a great story.
Yeah. He and his wife Christina, they own a real estate company, or she actually owns a lot of stuff. He works for them, which is cool.
I don't know if Mark's gonna like that.
No, he will. Trust me, he will. So Mark is one of the guys that was like, hey, dude, we'll do it. Getting Christina here will be another task.
Well, you could do Mark first and then bring them back together.
I think the only way Christina will be in here is if you're in here.
Well, that's fine. We can have 4 of us.
Yeah. And so I think Mark Eckhart, he's got a great story, but he was one of the first people to respond. Scott and Stacy Feller. The journey for them.
They have a great story.
It's an incredible story. And they've also said, yeah. So as far as like top 5, there's a lot. Russell, who's going to be on this week.
Russell will be the number 1 man.
Yeah. Russell is a pastor. He is an entrepreneur. He has owned several businesses. He is married to an entrepreneur. He is married to like a rock star real estate agent, broker. She's in the past 30 days has started 2 additional companies. She's one of the top real estate agents, not only in the Austin region, but in Texas. They're studs. And so like, it's cool because like Russell is one of my best friends. But more importantly, like he's salt of the earth. Like, dude, he has been holding me accountable for a year and a half. And he was the person I was talking to earlier when he was like, dude, finally, let's get it done. And so having him be on the podcast is incredible. And I gave him a topic because in church this morning, I was like, man, why are we only thankful during November? Why
I don't think everybody's only thankful during November, but that is what Thanksgiving is supposedly about.
Yeah. So I want to be thankful more often.
Okay.
And as I'm talking to him, I'm like, dude, there's so much crap going on in this world. Like I want to do the podcast. And let me see what did I text it? Let's see.
When did you send this message out?
What do you mean? The video message?
The video.
That was like a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And so do you have 5 people that responded?
Oh, I had like 50 or 60 people that responded. And I took it down.
So who were the first 5?
Scott and Stacy were.
Mark, Scott, and Stacy.
Mark was. You got Cody.
Oh my gosh, Cody and Lisa.
Cody and Lisa, they're both entrepreneurs. They own. Cody owns a systems integration company. Lisa owns a dance studio, and they just announced. I don't know if did you see the announcement they made like a
Mm-mm.
week ago, 2 weeks ago, that they're going to be grandparents.
Oh yes, I did
Yeah.
see that.
So glad it's been.
They're like
Yeah.
not old enough. They're so young.
Yeah, I know. And then Eric Swebb.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of different people that have said, "Hey, man, we'd like to be on this." And so it's not about, hey, we got to find people to go. Oh my god, I don't know how they. I
There's
don't know how.
just so many awesome people.
Like once you get to the place where it's like Joe Rogan, like you can go international and worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, like, hey man, do you know anybody in Round Rock that wants to talk on the mic? Do you know anybody in Deep Austin? Do you know anybody in Waco that knew about David Koresh back in the days? Like it's not that we're short of people.
We're not short. No.
No, we have.
I was just curious who the top 5 were.
Yeah, it's not.
So that would be the top. Well, I'm not saying the top 5, but the first 5. So you have Mark.
Well,
Russell.
I don't even know if they're going to be the first 5, but they will be part of these next episodes. And so, honestly, like my brother, I want him on. My mom, I already talked to my mom about it. I want her on here. I was thinking as that pastor was talking today. By the way, it was good to see Craig. Like I haven't seen him in a long time. He was leading worship and stuff, and so
they're having a baby. That's awesome.
Yeah, and so like I'm grateful that he reached out to us about their church and stuff. And so, where was I at here? Anyways, it was good to see him.
I forgot your mom. You were talking about your mom.
My mom want to sit down with my dad, and I've got an idea for my dad. Because there's like a bunch of there's a ton of different angles that we can go. I mean, he's chicken farming right now.
I know, it's like the greatest thing ever. That's like one of my dreams. I cannot wait.
And I can't wait.
I need some chickens.
I cannot wait, dude. I've got to have.
You know what I want my chicken coop to look like now?
Oh, I know.
Yep.
I know. He's chicken farming. He's goat farming.
Sheep.
What is that, goat?
You said
he is a sheep farmer. Maybe I told people on TikTok he was goat farming. Maybe I need to go back. But I want to sit down with him. Ideally, like it would be great to sit down with my brother and my sister and do that.
Everybody has a story to tell, right?
Yeah, and so there's an endless amount of people, but like there's some people that like I really want to sit down with and be like, hey. In fact, like Scott and Stacy Feller. We had a meeting, a very controversial meeting, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. No, I'm sorry, 2 or 3 months ago. Not controversial, but it was like, hey man, like there were some hurt feelings on my end, on their end, and like being able to overcome some of those hurdles,
right.
And talk through like woman to man to man, whatever.
Well, not getting offended.
Yeah, and like that's when you're like your friends are family.
Mm-hmm.
And that what's that quote that you always say, like when we toast somewhere, like to the family you're born with,
and the family you meet along the way.
Yeah, those are the kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're great people, and they're phenomenal entrepreneurs. And so, but they haven't always been,
right.
And so like having them on, there's so much depth to some conversations. I have talked to like city officials. We're going to have that conversation as well. But as this expands, man, I can put
one person in mind you might talk to.
Yeah. We can put 3 or 4 people.
I think Brandy would be great too. From Cozy Cannabis.
Oh, yeah, Brandy would be great.
Brandy,
yeah.
I mean, she's another female entrepreneur.
Yeah, I think Brandy would be solid. I mean, she has created
multiple
businesses in a very controversial like industry.
Mm-hmm. She is like a solid, firm believer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and so that's like I would love to like put her down, me in a room, my mom in a room, and just be like, just gotta talk through that stuff. But we've got a lineup for you guys. I don't want to
Maggie.
We
talked about Maggie.
Yeah, Maggie would be good too. I don't want to go super deep into this one, but you will hear these names again. And so we are looking forward to the next steps and these next several episodes. Like I want to hear your comments. I want to hear that something like, hey man, that really impacted me. Hey, I want to hear more about your story, Jennifer. I want to hear, hey, why are you drinking McConaughey's? Is that your favorite beer? What are you drinking, Drew? This is sweet tea. I gave up beer this morning. until this evening. And so there's a lot of things that we want to talk about. And man, everyone has a journey. And I would encourage you to start writing out your journey, to tell someone about your journey, because you never know who you're going to impact by the decisions that you have made. And so that's it for me today. I want to just show you how I feel like I want to outro everything. Listen to this. Listen to that. That's good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, hey man, what are the last words of wisdom that you can bring?
I don't have much wisdom yet. I might be 40, but I don't have any wisdom quite yet. Not true, but I just don't have any on the spot.
Yep. Well, hey, we are over and out. God bless you. And I can't wait to talk to you guys the next episode. Well, that didn't do what I wanted it to do, though, now did it? There we go. We are over and out. See you later.